Hello, I'm Rachel Astarte. I'm a holistic psychotherapist who specializes in helping free-spirited women in midlife who are ready to move beyond personal development and step into their much-needed roles as mentors to younger women who are just coming into their own uniqueness. I'm also a mother of a preteen, so I understand the challenges young people face as they enter a life of interaction with others. Loneliness has become an epidemic among children today. And so I thought I'd do this video to suggest 5 things that we as adults can do to help our young people alleviate that sense that they are alone in the world. So I should start by saying that I am a huge proponent of solitude. Our deepest and closest inner work has to be done in solitude, away from the pressures and judgment of others. So that said, there's a concrete difference between solitude or aloneness and loneliness. Loneliness is a lack of connection. Conversely, aloneness is a deep connection with ourself. So when we're lonely, we actually need connection with other people, but we can't find it. And so as a result, there's a sense of a lack of something in our lives. When we talk about loneliness in young people, what we're really talking about is that lack of connection. So where does this lack of connection come from, and what can we do about it? How can we help? First, I think it's very important for us to understand that children are in a different phase of psychosocial development than adults are, obviously. So let's look at that for a second. At around the age of 6 or 7, children become aware of the need to connect with their peers. So they started out at home and all they're dealing with are family members, and now they're at school and they're going to have to learn, how do I interact with other kids and teachers and that sort of thing. So this is an essential part of learning. How do we interact with others? And the failure to do this at that age can result in feelings of inferiority. By the time children reach adolescence, their task at that time is to learn who they are as individuals. So that's even more work that they have to do. And if they haven't already learned healthy interpersonal skills as young children, they're likely going to end up with a confused sense of self or a weak sense of self. And that's what can lead to loneliness or isolation. So this is awful. What do we do to help as adults? First thing to keep in mind is that you were young once too. Right? It's really important for us, as we're now established grown-ups, right, to remember that we were young. So remember your confusion, remember your uncertainty about the world that you were living in, and the world that you were being asked to enter as a grown-up individual. So that's going to come in handy for these 5 tips. The first one is talk to children, right? I know that, yeah, have you ever tried to talk to a teenager? I know, but if you can talk to them, or when you do talk to them, it may seem like they're not listening to you, but they are. It's the way you approach them. It's the way that you present yourself as someone who is able to communicate with them and treats them with respect. So that's number 1, talk to them. Number 2 is just as important. Listen to young people. When they do speak, put your teacher or parent self on hold and just listen to what a young person is telling you without judging. That's so important. No judgment. You can actually learn a great deal about a young person by listening to what they are saying, what they're seeing, how they're experiencing the world. And you use that information to continue the conversation with them. The third tip is become a mentor. And this is kind of what talking and listening is about. You can do mentorship in a couple of ways. You can do it at home with your family members or your extended family members, but you can also be a mentor in your community. So simply by sharing your experiences, again, with, say, awkwardness when you were an adolescent, or providing insight that you wish you had at their age, is invaluable. So you can help a young person to feel less lonely when they know someone else has gone through what they're going through, even if your specific experience was different. Number 4 is to teach by example. So we see a lot of kids that are absorbed on their screens. It's television, it's video games, it's phones, whatever. Teach by example by reducing your own screen time, at least in front of them, or at least in some way that they're aware that you're on your screen. Interact with others in your immediate circle, deeply, fully, your friends, your family, and beyond. And the 5th thing, and now you see we're moving from one-on-one to community, right? Get your children or get involved with young people through volunteering, if that speaks to you. So, for example, planning a family volunteer day, right? Or a weekend through a local charity or a public service. For example, Keep America Beautiful has chapters all throughout the country where you can have a day where you just clean up your local area. That's a wonderful bonding thing to do with a young person. Helping out at a food bank or a soup kitchen of some sort. These are all things that get you and the young person into the habit of interacting with others, so that, again, we're not feeling so isolated, so lonely. You can make an annual thing of this, but that's the point, is that it's helping young people to know who they are and what they do makes a difference. So I hope that you found this brief video helpful. If you'd like to stay in touch, or you'd like to learn more about self, solitude, and service through mentorship, please feel free to visit at rachelastartetherapy.com or midlifementorship.com.